Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm sharing a story about a knitting project gone wrong. That somehow went right. I'm talking about a knitting disaster that turned into something pretty amazing. It all started with this gorgeous yarn I bought. It was a beautiful, soft merino wool in this stunning shade of blue. I had this vision of knitting a cozy, oversized scarf. I found a pattern online, carefully cast on the stitches, and got to work. Now, I'm not a knitting expert, but I'm pretty confident in my basic skills. I've made a few scarves and hats before, so I figured this project would be a breeze. I started knitting, following the pattern, feeling good. After a few hours of knitting, I realized I had made a mistake. A pretty big mistake. The pattern called for a complicated cable stitch, and I had somehow managed to completely mess it up. Rows were twisted, stitches were dropped, and the whole thing looked like a tangled mess. My heart sank. I had spent hours on this, and it was a disaster. I was so frustrated. I could have just ripped it all out and started over, but honestly, the thought of re-knitting those first few hours was just too much. I decided to try and fix it. This is where things get interesting. I started to carefully unravel the mess, trying to salvage as much of the original work as possible. But the more I tried to fix it, the worse it got. It was like trying to untangle a ball of yarn after a cat had been playing with it. Finally, in a moment of sheer desperation, I decided to embrace the chaos. Instead of trying to fix the original pattern, I started experimenting. I started dropping stitches on purpose, creating holes and intentionally twisting the yarn. I was no longer following any pattern. It was just me and the yarn, going with the flow. To my surprise, the result was quite beautiful. The mess of the cable stitch transformed into an intricate, textured design. The dropped stitches created an airy, almost lace-like effect. It was no longer a scarf. It was something else entirely. It was a piece of wearable art, a unique creation born from a knitting mishap. I ended up with a gorgeous, one-of-a-kind shawl. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever made, and all because of a mistake. So, what did I learn from this? Well, I learned that perfection isn't always the goal. Sometimes, the most amazing creations come from embracing our mistakes and letting go of control. I also learned that if you find yourself in a knitting disaster, don't despair. You might just accidentally create something even more wonderful. Thanks for watching.